Hello students, I am Sunil Ranjan. I am an English teacher and in this session I am going to take up modern English. English used since AD 1500 till now is called modern English. Recently this period is being subdivided into modern English and new English for the simple reason that social, technological and political developments in and outside English in the last 500 years have affected the structure of English, but its basic structure and nature has not changed much. The development of modern English was largely helped by the introduction of the printing technology in 1476. This established standard forms of English spelling and grammar. It gave opportunities to more people to write and gave wider circulation to their writings. Because of the rise in literacy in the 17th and 18th centuries in England, the reading public had grown considerably. Other major factors contributing to the growth were the development of England as a maritime power, the expansion of the British Empire, and the growth of commerce, industry, and communication. Today, English occupies an important position as the official language in all world forums such as the United Nations and all its subsidiary units, WHO, IMF, ILO, UNESCO, that stands for UNESCO, etc., are all using English. In India too, we are greatly dependent on English for official, social or commercial purposes. Globalization has further strengthened the requirement of learning and using English for everyday activities. Indians are quick learners of the language because we belong to the same Indo-European family. English is being taught and learned with all seriousness in China, Japan, Korea, and in many other countries across the world. From the beginning of the modern period to the end of the 19th century, English was basically the language of the British. With the territorial expansion of the British Empire, together with the growth of science, industry, politics, and literature, the English language enriched itself by successfully adding new words to its vocabulary and the flavor of the countries the British had colonized. In the 20th century, the colonies of the British Empire acquired freedom. The British left the century countries, but the language remained. Hence, new varieties of English emerged in different parts of the world. Some of these are American English, Australian English, Indian English, Canadian English, and so on. It shows how the language manifests itself and molds to serve the basic purpose of human communication. Now, coming on to vocabulary. As there was rapid growth in different fields, the English realized that their vocabulary lacked the words to express new ideas and techniques. Thus began the borrowing from Latin, French, Greek, Italian, Spanish, and other languages. English absorbed words from almost 50 different languages, including words from the languages of Asia and Africa. There was a group that resisted such borrowing. They came to be known as purists, but they were unable to stop the inflow of foreign words into the English vocabulary. Now, some of the borrowings in the 16th and 17th century. Now, language and words. Now, from Latin and Greek, there were English words appropriate, capsule, virus. From French, English borrowed battery, chocolate, passport, ticket. From Hindi, English borrowed guru, pandit, sari, thug. From Arabic, English borrowed sultan, sheikh, algebra. From Italian, English borrowed balcony, lottery, macaroni. From Persian, English language borrowed caravan, bazaar, sofa, divan. From Spanish, English borrowed banana, cockroach, potato, guitar. From Turkish, English borrowed coffee, kiosk, yogurt, and kaftan. And from Afrikaans, English borrowed trek and apartheid. Now coming on to grammar. The vocabulary of early modern English underwent rapid changes, but the grammar remained fairly conservative. English grammar continued to develop in its own way, but did not affect the basic structure of the sentence. Now, well-known literary works of this period. Now, the authors and their works. So, Fairy Queen was a work and it was written by Edmund Spenser. Next is Dr. Faustus. It was written by Christopher Marlowe. Third is Essays written by Francis Bacon. Next is Volpone. This is written by Ben Jonson. And the next is King Lear, Othello, Macbeth. They were written by William Shakespeare. The authorized version of the Bible and Shakespeare's writings also helped in simplifying English. Spenser, Marlowe, Bacon, Jonson, and Shakespeare were the writers of the famous Elizabethan age. With their literary genius, they transformed the language and brought about remarkable creativity and originality in its use. During the 18th century, also known as Augustan Age, there was a strong sense of order and regulation. It was in sharp contrast to the spirit of experiment and adventure of the previous 2 centuries. The need of a dictionary and grammar was felt during this period so that spellings could be standardized and correct use of grammar could be possible. Necessity of a dictionary led to the publishing of a Dictionary of the English Language by Dr. Samuel Johnson in 1755, which took 7 years to complete. It contained 40,000 words and their meanings. The second need of some grammar books was fulfilled by 18th century grammarians who came up with the following books. Practical Grammar of English Tongue by William Lofton. The Rudiments of English Grammar by Joseph Priestley, and The British Grammar by James Buchanan. So, Practical Grammar of English Tongue, it came up in 1734. The second one, The Rudiments of English Grammar, came in 1761, and The British Grammar came up in 1762. The 3 main objectives of these books were to codify the rules of English sentence structure, discuss points and decide cases of divided usage, and prescribe rules for correct usage. Many of the conventions accepted in present-day grammar were originally stated in these books. After the 18th century, the English language started leaving the shores of England. It traveled to almost all parts of the world and became a world language. Many socio-political events were responsible for this. Well, now coming to the exercises. And number 1 is complete the statements given below. And the first one is English absorbed words from almost 50 different languages. So you have to underline 50. Purists objected to the inflow of the foreign words in English. So the spelling of purists is P-U-R-I-S-T-S, purists. The 2 works that helped in simplifying English are Fairy Queen and Macbeth. So this was the third. And the fourth one is Dr. Samuel Johnson published a dictionary of the English language in 1755. Now, question number 2. Answer these questions very briefly. Number 1. Why are the Indians quick learners of English? The answer is, the Indians are quick learners of English because they belong to the same Indo-European family. Number 2. What realization led to the borrowings from different languages? The answer is, as there was rapid growth in different fields, the English realized that their vocabulary lacked the words to express new ideas and techniques. Next question. What were the 3 objectives of the 18th century grammarians? And the answer is, the 3 main objectives of the 18th century grammarians were to codify the rules of English sentence structure, discuss points, and decide cases of divided usage and prescribe rules for correct usage. Next question. What did the 18th century grammarians share with the age? The answer is, they all shared the spirit of the age to establish order in language. And the last question is, what did the 18th century grammarians think about their role? The answer is, the 18th century grammarians thought that grammar could be a means to preserve the language and considered their role as authoritative, but there existed difference of opinion among writers and grammarians. So, I come to the end of this session, and I hope students you understood modern English, its history, and how it is used today. So, if you have subscribed to my channel, fine. If you haven't, do subscribe to my channel so that you get more and more in the time to come. Thank you.